Hello everyone, this is Madhu Dharmapuri. Welcome back to our channel Passionate About Physics. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe it and watch the videos uploaded in that channel. So in this present video lecture, I am going to explain you about the magnetic force acting on current carrying conductor. So before we go into the details of this, first let us discuss about the force acting on a moving charge in the magnetic field. Every moving charge in the magnetic field experiences a force because of the presence of the magnetic field, and that force is given by this. Force acting on the moving charged particle is equal to Q into V cross B, where V is the velocity of the particle and B is magnetic field. Here the Q is to be substituted with its sign. Now if the moving charge is experiencing a force in the magnetic field, then why not a current carrying conductor should experience force? Because current is nothing but collection of many charged particles which are in motion, which means that the current carrying conductor should also experience force when it is kept in the magnetic field. That is what we are going to discuss in this lecture. If you observe this picture, this is a current carrying conductor of length L, which is kept in the magnetic field, which is uniform magnetic field. Remember, the uniform magnetic field is nothing but the magnetic field magnitude and its direction is same everywhere in a specific region. So this current carrying conductor is kept in that uniform magnetic field whose length is small l and through which the current I is passing through it. We are now going to calculate the magnetic force acting on this current carrying conductor. So for that, we make use of this expression. For example, the current is nothing but the flow of charges, and remember, the electron flow is always in the opposite direction to the current direction. If you observe this picture, the current direction is in this way, but the negative charges are moving in the opposite direction with the drift velocity Vd. So the electrons are moving in this direction and current is moving in the opposite direction to the electron motion. So that is why current is usually called as the positive charge direction, the positively charged moving direction. So if an electron is considered, the force acting on that electron, which is having a charge of minus E, moving in the uniform magnetic field, then the force acting on that single electron we can write according to this formula, Vd cross B, where minus E is the charge of that electron and Vd is the velocity with which the electron is moving in the uniform magnetic field. Now, if N is the charge carrier density or free electron density, here the charge carriers are free electrons. What is charge carrier density? This is the number of charge carriers or number of electrons, in this case, number of electrons per unit volume. Per unit volume. If there are n number of, if n is the charge carrier density per unit volume, then what is the actual volume of this conductor placed in this magnetic field, which is in the shape of this as shown, which is to be considered as a wire. if its length is small l and if its a cross sectional area is capital A, volume of the wire would be A into L. The area multiplied by its length will give you the volume of this current carrying wire. So if N is the number of electrons per unit volume, then how many number of electrons are actually present in this current carrying wire is nothing but the total number of free electrons will be N into A into L. So these are the total number of free electrons which are moving in this wire with the drift velocity Vd. So now what is the net force acting on this wire? Because of the motion of these many number of electrons in this direction in the uniform magnetic field, that would be Fm equal to, in the place of single electron, for single electron let me take it as dFm. So in the case of single electron this was the expression. So for the total number of free electrons, you can consider it as a force acting on the wire. Instead of saying the force acting on all the electrons, we can say that the force acting on the wire, because the force acting on the wire is nothing but vector sum of the individual forces acting on all these charges. So hence the force acting on this wire would be this is the force acting on the current carrying wire placed in uniform magnetic field, where VDENA is the current flowing through this current carrying conductor placed in the magnetic field, and this negative sign is now no need to write, because this negative is the representation of the type of charge for the electron, and we already know that the electron flow direction is clearly opposite to the current flow direction. So that is why that negative sign is not considered when you are writing this force expression in terms of I, and hence the force acting on the current carrying conductor can be written as I L cross B. So this is the magnetic force acting on this current carrying wire placed in magnetic field. Noting points can be noted down from the magnetic force expression which is acting on current carrying conductor. So this is the expression for the magnetic force acting on current carrying conductor when it is placed in a uniform magnetic field. The first point would be the force acting on that current carrying conductor would be 0 if the angle between this length vector and magnetic field direction is 0 degrees or 180 degrees. So let us see how. For example, if you expand this equation, the magnetic force will be ILB sin theta n cap, where ILB sin theta is the magnitude of the magnetic force acting on the current carrying wire. So if theta equal to 0 degrees or 180 degrees, where theta is angle between L and B, then the force experienced by the conductor will be 0. And if the angle between L and B is 90 degrees, then the force acting on the conductor would be maximum, which is equal to ILB. And the direction of this force would be predicted using the Fleming's left hand rule. So if you stretch your three fingers as I have shown here, this middle finger represents the current direction, the forefinger represents the magnetic field direction, and thumb represents the force direction. So here the inverse symbol, the cross symbol represents the magnetic field is inverse. So you have to stretch your fingers like this. Current is in this way, the magnetic field is inverse, and the force acting on this charged particle, on this conductor, would be in the upward direction along our thumb. So that is what shown here. The Fm is upwards, perpendicular to current. So the second point would be L bar is the length vector which is in the direction of current. The direction of current whose magnitude is equal to the length of the conductor. Equal to length of the conductor. So the third worth noting point would be this expression, whatever I have just wiped off, the force equation IL cross B is only applicable to a wires having straight segments, like straight wires. So if that wire is in any arbitrary shape, the direct formula application would be not easy. There we may have to use polygon vector law of addition for solving that integration and applying the limits. So this is applicable to straight segments of a wire. Straight segments of a wire. As I said, if the wire is not having straight segments, if the wire is of any arbitrary shape, then what would be the approach? The approach would be using the polygon law of vector addition. That would be, for example, the fourth point, consider a wire of any arbitrary shape like this from A to D, which is kept in some magnetic field B. Magnetic field direction is shown here. So for this, what you have to do is, first imagine a dotted line which is connecting both end point and starting point. Consider a small element or small segment DL in that wire and write the expression of the force acting on that small element. Then some current I is flowing through this in this direction. IDL cross B. Now if I want the total force acting on this wire of arbitrary shape, then I have to integrate this. from taking limits a to d. So in that case, Fm would be integration of a to d dfm, which would be a to d I dl cross b, which we can write like I is out of the integral, a to d dl cross, I can write this outside because the B is uniform magnetic field. So the total force now would be I into this integral cross B. So the value of this integral would be the sum of the small segments, vector sum of all these small segments whose length is dl, and according to polygon law of vector addition, this would be again equal to the length of this wire. If that length of the wire is taken as small l, then again this expression would come like here. So this is how we have to approach for the calculation of magnetic field acting on a wire with arbitrary shape. So you have to make use of polygon law of vector addition.